And hello, welcome to the Nobby Horton Podcast, the chit-chat show with fascinating people. You spend most of your life trying to get somewhere. School, job, promotion, holiday, car, mortgage, another car, your own company. There's always another stop, another destination. Then, one morning, you wake up and realise you've arrived. Only, nobody tells you what happens next. For 20 years, my day started in a little village called Ashbrow. Lovely place. Every day I'd cycle to the station on my faithful and trusted Brompton. Catch the train to London and join the same bunch of people, all heading in the same direction. Same platform, same carriage, same time, 7:39. I thought I was commuting. Looking back, I think I was collecting characters. There was the chap who always walked right down the very end of the platform, away from everyone. The blind lady who got a net hitching, kindly ushered to a spare seat by a friend. The pinstripe city suit who wanted the whole carriage to know he had a terribly important job, who then turned left into first class with the FT. The girl who somehow managed to cake on her makeup without using a bloody mirror. Funny thing about a train full of London commuters, we rarely spoke. Perhaps only when there was some kind of emergency. But after 20 years, you somehow got to know each other. The faces and little habits. And every evening, King's Cross, 6:45 train if I could make it. More often not. I always found King's Cross fascinating. Half the people couldn't wait to get home. The other half looked like they were in no rush at all. Nobody really notices anybody, unless they're waiting for someone. I wasn't. So I watched. For years, I thought I was wasting 82 minutes a day on trains, and another 30 waiting for them. Turns out, they weren't wasted minutes. They were my apprenticeship. Then, one day, I stopped catching the train, and after a while, something unexpected happened. I started drifting. Nobody plans to drift. You don't write it in your diary like Tuesday 9:40, drift a bit. It just happens. One day you're busy. The next, you've got all the time in the bloody world. And somehow, you never quite get round to living it. I honestly asked, what's bloody up with me? Turns out, I wasn't the first person to feel like that.
Everyone says you have to get ready to retire financially. And of course you do. But what they don't tell you is that you also have to get ready psychologically.
Psychologically. Nobody had ever mentioned that word to me. Financially, yes. Psychologically, never. I wasn't prepared, because it was kind of forced upon me. Or maybe I'd simply had enough. The industry had changed over the years. We used to take risks. We were brave. We had a laugh. Now it's all about safety and rounded corners. I haven't changed. The advertising industry had.
There is a very good chance that you will live 1/3 of your life in retirement. So it's important that you have a heads up to the fact that there will be significant psychological changes and challenges that come with it.
1/3. That's a long time to feel lost.
I was busy enough, but I really didn't feel that I was doing very much that was significant or important. I was really struggling.
I remember someone saying, "I'm struggling." I'm thinking, thank goodness. Not because he was struggling, because someone had finally said it out loud.
There are 4 distinct phases that most of us move through in retirement. Phase 1 is the vacation phase, and that's just what it's like. You wake up when you want, you do what you want all day, and the best part is that there is no set routine. For most people, phase 1 represents their view of an ideal retirement. Relaxing, fun in the sun, freedom, baby. And for most folks, phase 1 lasts for about a year or so. And then, strangely, it begins to lose its luster. We begin to feel a bit bored. We actually miss our routine. Something in us seems to need one. And we ask ourselves, is that all there is to retirement?
Funny thing, I never asked, is that all there is to retirement? I think I just retired from the advertising industry, like an old racehorse, had its day. Still living in people's memories, a few anyway, but not at the races. I never asked, is that all there is? I just found myself asking, is this it then?
Phase 2 is when we feel loss and we feel lost. Phase 2 is when we lose the big 5, significant losses, all associated with retirement. We lose that routine. We lose a sense of identity. We lose many of the relationships that we had established at work. We lose a sense of purpose, and for some people, there is a loss of power.
Nobody tells you that bit. They tell you about pensions. They tell you about mortgages. They tell you where to invest your money. Nobody ever says, oh, by the way, you might lose your sense of who you are.
We don't see these things coming. We didn't see these losses coming. And because they happen all at once, it's like poof, gone. It's traumatic.
That's exactly it. Not dramatic, not noisy, just gone. I don't remember waking up one morning thinking, I've lost my bloody identity. I simply stopped knowing where I belonged.
Phase 2 is also when we come face to face with the 3 Ds: divorce, depression, and decline, both physical and mental.
Funny thing about starting all over again, sometimes it's exactly what one person needs and exactly what someone else doesn't.
The result of all of this is that we can feel like we've been hit by a bus. You see, before we can appreciate and enjoy some of the positive aspects associated with phase 3 and 4, you are going to, in phase 2, feel fear, anxiety, and quite even depression. That's just the way it is.
When I heard that, I actually felt relieved. Not because it sounded cheerful, quite the opposite. Because somebody had finally described what I'd been feeling, without me having to find the bloody words.
Fortunately, at some point, most of us say to ourselves, hey, I can't go on like this. I don't want to spend the rest of my life, perhaps 30 years, feeling like this.
I remember that day. Not the date, just the feeling. The feeling that if life was going to change, maybe I had to change with it. Maybe I'd been asking the wrong questions. Not, what do I do now? Something much harder. Who am I? When I'm no longer what I did.
When you look in a regular mirror, you look for reassurance. But when you look in a true mirror, you don't look at yourself. You look for yourself. You look for revelation, not for reassurance.
Looking for yourself. I like that. Because after I'd stopped working, that's exactly what I was doing. I just didn't have the words for it.
I think that we all come complete. We come complete with one true note we were destined to sing. And it doesn't dictate your choice of job. What it dictates is how you do it.
That made me stop. Maybe my career wasn't who I was. Maybe it was just where I happened to be.
Your only job while you're here on the planet is to be as good at being you as they are at being them.
Funny thing, I spent years trying to become what I thought everybody expected. Maybe life wasn't asking me to become somebody else. Maybe it was quietly waiting for me to become myself.
You're not what you have. You're not what you do. You're not even who you love or who loves you. There has to be something underneath all that.
I sat with that one for a while. You're not what you do. I don't think anybody ever said that to me before. Maybe I wasn't trying to find a new life. Maybe I was simply trying to find myself. Funny, the things that stay with you. I remember this TED talk. It was hard hitting. But I thought, that's not me. AUD, alcohol use disorder. Nah, that's not me.
Developing AUD was an incredibly confusing thing for somebody who admittedly likes to be in control.
Control. Funny thing, control. Most of us rather like the idea of it. Life has a habit of reminding us otherwise. Growing up, the pub wasn't somewhere mysterious. It was just where people went, where birthdays happened, football, a couple of shandies after work, a pitch won, a pitch lost, someone leaving, a light bollocking, the Christmas tipple, and sometimes, because the train was delayed, I sort of told myself, looking back, I don't think we were celebrating the drink. I think we were celebrating each other. Then I remembered something else she'd said.
I wasn't drinking because I had a crummy childhood or because I was suffering from any personal trauma. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, I had a great life. I was in my chosen career. I had a beautiful home. I had friends and family who loved me and supported me. I was drinking because I was physically addicted to alcohol. That's it. Once I started, I could not stop drinking.
That stopped me. Not everybody's story is my story. And perhaps that's where understanding begins. Not assuming. Listening. She went on. And this bit resonated with me.
This particular day, I drove by that billboard, and my brain said to me, that's just a billboard. I can't even explain to you what a profound moment this was, because it meant that my thought processes were normal again. It meant that my brain was fixed. It meant that I was me again.
I was me again. I kept thinking about that. Not because of the billboard, because of those 4 words. I was me again. Maybe, whatever journey we're all on, that's really what we're hoping to find. Nobody knew, like the new me. Just ourselves. One last thing stayed with me.
If we addicts had a normal disease, we would be treated with sympathy and comfort. Instead, we're faced with a barrage of, why can't you just quit? Just say no. And a complete lack of understanding or compassion.
Compassion. The older I get, the less certain I become. But I do seem to understand people a little bit better than I used to. Because everybody you meet is carrying something. Most of it, you'd never know. Unless you stop and listen. Funny, where life takes you. Some journeys you choose. Others quietly choose you. I remember my last day in London. Great Portland Street. It was mid-afternoon. Everybody had gone. From my company, anyway. Days ago. Weeks ago. Months ago. I was the only one left. From the small company we'd founded. Slowly swallowed. And finally spat out. By a much bigger one. Gone. I went down into the bike shed, ground level, by the back door, unfolded my Brompton, wheeled it to Mortimer Street, and said goodbye to London. I thought I was leaving London. Turns out, London wasn't leaving me. The people weren't leaving me. The conversations weren't leaving me. I just didn't realize where I was going. We moved to Nottingham, a new city, a smaller life, or so I thought. We needed a fresh start. The money mattered. Life had changed. So had I. For a while, I worked nights. Security officer. Funny thing, I found it surprisingly difficult telling people that. Not because there's anything wrong with the job. There wasn't. It was honest work. I just hadn't realised that my job wasn't who I was. Those night shifts were very quiet. Hours with nothing much happening. Most people would probably say they were empty. Funny thing, they weren't. That's where I finally had enough silence to hear a voice I'd never really listened to before. Not all at once, just the odd sentence, an observation, a smile, a question, and another, and another, until one day I realised he'd been there, waiting patiently, all along. The advertising world told me the craft. That security job gave me the silence. And Nobby finally found his voice. Funny thing, I spent 30 years trying to get somewhere. Turns out, it was never really about getting somewhere. It was about the people I met on the way.
You alright, Dad? Who are you talking to?
Nobody. Just thinking aloud, as usual.
Oh, fair enough.
Funny. You spend your life collecting characters. Then one day, you realise they weren't just passing through. They were helping to make you who you are.